Sanjeev.
But so it will be, I'll take 5 minutes just to introduce what NASSCOM is doing on the incubation for the IoT and building the ecosystem. So as you all know that, India is a name to recognize a name. It's got enough recognition around the world when it comes to IT products, the software, but we don't have a name when it comes to hardware. Obviously, there has to be a reason, right? I mean, why we didn't make it there and we made it in the software. And that fact was recognized by the government of India some time back, and they said we need to do something about it. And IoT being the next opportunity, which we all recognize, and that's why we are all here as part of this special symposium on IoT. And they said we need to do something about it and to cash in on this opportunity, both domestically as well as globally. So that's when the idea of a Center for IoT came about, and that's when they approached NASSCOM to start this center, because NASSCOM already has a 10K program, which is a 10,000 startup program that was started 3 years ago with the intent of creating 10,000 startups. I think some of you may already know that India is number 3 when it comes to the startups in the world. And I think we may be very soon number 2, US being number 1 and UK being number 2. So we are trailing at 3, and we could be number 2 in a year or so. So NASSCOM has already set up 10 centers around the country for incubation, which is a co-working space and accelerator space. And the biggest USP that NASSCOM offers, which I think you all know, is Industry Connect. All these startups who come there have a privilege of getting connected to the industries which they by themselves may not have that easily ability to connect to them, both in the form of technology partnership, as well as for some funding things, and also as customers. We also bring companies to the table who may be the customers. Sometimes we think these startups actually need funding as the biggest thing, because ask any startup, what do you need? Yeah, I need money. Of course, money is always there. That is a primary requirement. But if you ask a startup what they value more, they will say, I value customer more than I value money. So that's another thing that NASSCOM provides, brings some customers for these startups to the table. With that infrastructure, we started this Center for Excellence on IoT, saying that let's build a ecosystem for IoT, which involves government, which is a funder for this, the industry, being the second one, and academia being the third one. And startup, of course, are the one which are the primary driver of this. So with the recognition that IoT is going to be the next big thing, there's another recognition, I think, that government alone will not be able to do it, so private companies have to be part of it. So it's a PPP model. And the third recognition is the innovation is going to come from startups. So startup has to be the focus of this. If any of these new programs have to be driven, it has to be driven with startups as the center of the theme, or startup as a center of this ecosystem. And that's why we opened up a new center in Diamond District, along with the 10K center. It's a large center there. Sometime you get a chance, you please visit it. It gets lots of visitors every day. And the programs that we have started is, we have already incubated some startups there, and many new programs are going to be started and we are identifying the gaps. We are spending some time to identify what are the needs of these startups. Why as Arvind mentioned, there's a high mortality rate around it. Why? Some of it we know, and some of it we don't. So we are seeing how we make these things better, how we help them get to the prototype stage and beyond. And what we're looking to do is, not just drive this thing ourselves. We want to bring other partners along with it, whether they're other accelerators or other incubators or other hardware houses. We want to take everybody along. This is not something that we are looking to do alone, and we know that the job is big enough and requires many more people to be part of it. So that's what we are attempting to do at this point of time. So some of the things that we have done in the last few months, we are only a few months old, and some of the last program that we did was, a Tech March program where we identified the hardware startups across the country. We did this thing in 6 or 7 different cities of the country, identified the top startups, brought them to Bangalore in NASSCOM Product Conclave, which was 2 weeks ago. And out of that, top 3 were selected and given $100,000 each from Kalari Capital as the top startups were identified by the jury. So there are many such programs. I just told you one which was most recent one. but there are many such programs that we have in place. And we are looking to, work with all of you and the people on the stage to work with them and to take this thing forward into a more vibrant community and to see many more startups, coming out of this ecosystem that we have. And we have a full support from the industry as well as from the government. Government recognizes this is the area to push, and we have a full support from them. So we are in a very good situation. I think we're sitting in good times where I think we will see many more new products coming at a global level, becoming successful. Thank you.
Okay, so Sanjeev has agreed to hang on for a while. We can take 2 questions for him specifically, but the panel will continue. So more general questions on accelerators, etc. will answer. So anybody has a specific question for the NASSCOM CoE? All right. Okay, go ahead. There's a guy behind. Take the mic.
Registered with NASSCOM only. I'm working on global organ donation system. And next, I would like to pitch. Do you conduct a regular pitching program?
Do we conduct a regular pitching program?
Yeah, I just have, because regularly I get what all the investors and other programs and all. But mainly the pitching programs, do you conduct regularly, periodically, any?
Yes, we have pitching programs, regular pitching programs where, now these pitching programs are for all kinds. So where we have the VC audience, some people who are looking to connect to the VCs, we do those pitching as well. We do Enterprise Connect programs where we bring them to where the pitching happens for a special segment, somebody looking at a fintech. We do these events in Bombay where we invite all these financial companies come looking for these startups, because ultimately this pitching session has to have a purpose. And if we find these enterprises or financial institutions who are looking for these startups, yes, there are many of these things, and they're all on special segments as well.
Yeah, this particular global organ donation system.
Let's give it a chance.
Okay, I'll be real quick. First of all, compliment for the grand vision, 10,000. But what is the reality check across the cities? How many have started? This vision is over how many years kind of time frame?
So reality is that we have got 3,000 startups till now over the last 3 years. And these are the rolling startups. They come and spend some time in the center, and then they move on to the next step. And some of them may even, end up doing something else after that. Not every startup we know will succeed. And some of them have gone and become successful. And I don't have all the names handy with me because in my presentation, but there are some successful startups, there are some successful acquisitions, and some of them are still working and gone to the next step. So yeah, we have all kind of things, all kind of.
No, but in all fairness, and the 10,000 program is a fantastic thing, and Ravi Gururaj, he's of course a TiE Charter member also. So I think it's difficult to scale up and succeed at scale, but this is a real good attempt, and I think that it's doing a fairly good job. Thanks.
All right, thank you.